if we are going to embrace the new world.
David Brock.
Speaker, I'm speaking to SNP Amendment 10 and New Clause 7, in particular in the name of my honourable friend, the member for Dundee East. I cannot quite work out whether the government's not noticed the potential problems with the quality of imported foods or if it just doesn't care. And having listened to this debate, frankly, I think it's the latter. There are so many platitudes, but when the chance to do something concrete came up during the Agriculture Bill, ministers turned it down. Yes, pressures from farmers after that led to a commission to advise on a food imports framework of sorts. The honourable member for Montgomeryshire, no longer in his place, said its membership provided comfort to his farmers. That commission, though, has amongst its members Shankar Singham, a former lobbyist and favourite of various government ministers, who is on record arguing that we should accept chlorine-washed chicken, hormone-injected beef and genetically modified crops from the US. Mr Singham is not the only representative of the Institute for Economic Affairs on the Commission either. Lockwood Smith is also part of the IEA. Now that's important because the IEA is in favour of a hard Brexit and lowering food standards and environmental standards to satisfy countries such as the US, China and India in trade deals. We know that because it published a paper on it in 2018 and got censured by the Charity Commission for its trouble. Then there's the chair of the Commission, Tim Smith, a former Tesco employee, who said that concerns about food standards were alarmist shortly after he was appointed. I was actually alerted to that by the Department for International Trade. Astonishingly, its Twitter account was used to publicise a link to the article. So there are some who don't think the Commission is there to provide safeguards for our food standards. They worry it's there to draw a veil of decency over the indecency of the government's position. We were told during the Agriculture Bill that the proper place for provisions on the quality of imported food would be the Trade Bill, and here we are at the Trade Bill, and the government is intent on throwing those safeguards out of the window rather than enshrining them in legislation. Those are actions in bad faith, and they shouldn't be allowed to stand. During the committee proceedings, the Minister said that Food Standards Scotland and the English Food Standards Agency would ensure that food imports comply with our standards. How? How will they do that? Will they have teams inspecting the production chains in other countries as the EU does? How will the animal husbandry and production standards of other nations be monitored to prevent unsuitable food entering on our plates? Now the White Paper on an internal UK market is showing that the government has no intention of letting Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland do anything to protect their people. Lower standards introduced by England's government will have to be swallowed by the rest of us under these plans, and I frankly do not fancy swallowing anything they offer. Professor Michael Keating of the Centre on Constitutional Change makes clear in his response to the White Paper he considers it a power grab from the devolved administrations for the purposes of negotiating low-standard international trade deals. The Minister for Trade underlined that when he said that administrations in trade deals would be constitutionally inappropriate. I agree.
Greg Smith.